So people are all bitching about this. A gothic gay daughter of Starfire. You people need to grow the fuck up. I have no problem with this. I really don't. Because two main factors. It's not catering to anyone. It's not introducing a character that's already introduced in DC Comics. Or bringing that character in canon. And then some shithead writer ruins that character. Talking to you, Mr. Superman. Talking to you, Wally. Fucking crying out loud. But anyway, back to the main topic. I mean, it's not catering to anyone. They're doing their own direction. They're doing their own fresh direction on what they want to tell. I'm all for the writer going for this direction. Why not do a gothic, gay, Starfire daughter that is actually maybe interesting? And yeah, her appearance may be not that great, but if you get to know the personality and her character, maybe we'll like her. I mean, you can't just have this biased viewpoint just because of the appearance. I mean, that is just pure, like, oh, I would rather have the other daughter, Nightstar, I think that's her name? Yeah, Nightstar, who really is a great character, but I don't want to have her be canon to the DC continuity because guess what? Just like Wally, just like Superman, from the pre-52 comics, some shithead writer will ruin her. Do you rather be fucking catered to and have a character get ruined and have you get pissed off? No, you wouldn't. So I got nothing to say but this. Looking forward to the new Starfire book. Looking forward to this new daughter that Starfire is going to have. So honestly, we got nothing to bitch about it until we see the comic. And if the comics suck, oh well. At least I'll give the writers some credit to tell their story. It's just, for me, who's trying to make his own comic book, who's trying to make his own story, who really believes on his story, you got to just let the book tell their story. Because if you're heavily against on something that they're taking a political thing and you don't like it because, oh, it's a political agenda, they're trying to get people in to buy their books. Yeah, no shit. But I could even argue back saying, yeah, so? Is it a crime that they're not catering to you anymore? Is it a crime that they're actually doing something that may be fucking worth the shit reading? Because let's face it, besides the death metal and the Batman Who Laughs and the Batman and Catwoman comic books, what's really in DC Comics? Nothing. And if I'm wrong, and if you want to prove me that I'm wrong, tell me what books that are actually worth the shit reading. Because if they are just death metal books or books that I do not really give a shit about, you're really wasting your time. But I commend you if you do want to respond and tell me that I'm wrong and here's the books that I should be looking at. But yet again, I look at a lot of DC fans and, you know, I get a lot of debates on them on Rebirth saying, DC had to go back where they belong. Sure they do, buddy. Sure they do. More like they fucking played you. They did all this fan service for you to buy their shit because Marvel was killing them with the all new, all different Marvel books. And now, when they try to do something that's actually worth the shit reading, you reject them because you want to be catered to. You don't want something new and different and something that's actually worth the shit fucking reading on DC Comics. Why is it that people like me are all in on this new direction, all in on the new Wonder Woman, all in on the new DC Comics because they are sick and tired of the fucking trash that Rebirth was a nothing more than a cash into the old nostalgia boys and girls that just don't want to grow up, that just want to remind themselves to what they grew up on back in the time frame when they were reading DC Comics. And by the way, when DC Rebirth actually had good books that are actually different and made sure there was no catering to, they got canceled because no one bought the shit out of them. Nobody gave a fuck because they wanted to be catered to. They wanted to be catered to. Guess what, DC fans? Or should I say, cater to fans? Grow up. You need to start letting go the past. You need to stop bringing characters that are from different continuities that should have no business in the newer DC comic books. Because you want to know why? Because just like Superman, just like Wally, they all got ruined. And you're telling me you would rather have Nightstar be the daughter of Starfire and Dick Grayson, be canon to the main core DC books? You would rather have that and have some shithead writer ruin her? I would rather not. I would rather not see that. And I'm glad they're not doing that. Because you want to know why? Because I would rather have a different character tell their story than have a character that is a fan favorite get ruined. So start growing the fuck up. Start being smart on what you're saying. Stop asking for something that clearly would get ruined. I am just saying, people. But yet again, I'm always going to be the outcast fan. I'm always going to say the facts and nothing but the facts. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the new Starfire book. If it's trash, we'll see. I'd rather read the product before I judge it. Because don't judge its cover. It could be trash when you read the story. But yet again, it could be a fucking masterpiece. Hell, I could say half the DC books from the older continuity, or hell, the New 52 books, are better than half the shit what we have right now. And I hope DC Future State is better than Rebirth. And to be fair, on Rebirth's defense, they had no choice to cave in to the fans because Marvel was killing them with the all new, all different. But at the same time, they could have had a better direction. They could have just said, fuck it, let's just make better stories. Instead of just catering to fans. Now, they have to tell these stories. Now they have to be different than Marvel or any other comic book company because they have to make better books because people like me are tired of the trash. The trash is the Rebirth crap. Fan service. That is just for people that don't want to grow up. For people that don't want to move on from the past. Time to grow up, people. Time to wake up. Move on. Stop shitting on a book that clearly we don't know if it's going to be trash. And if it is going to be trash, then we'll criticize it. Don't judge it on its cover. Don't say it's an SJW. Because that's like saying all the times that DC or whatever comic book company that took a risk on their books over the years is just like an SJW or their political agenda that you would probably say. And that is fucking bullshit. They're doing it for a reason to get people buying their books. They're doing it for a reason to get people interested on the book. If you just play the fan service card, no one's going to give a shit. For me, for an example, I didn't care if Superman or Wally came in. I care about the story, how they were doing it. It was garbage. Pure garbage. I knew exactly what they were doing. And it was fucking cash grab. Nothing more. And I will always say this. Take John Ken away. What do you have? A fucking nostalgia book that clearly is just an appeal to an agenda that DC fans want. And honestly, I'm tired of this defending on Future State. I'm sick and tired of it. It's just, I had enough. I had enough. I mean, to a point, I'm going to say this right now, there is such a massive dislike on the DC fans that I have that I literally just tell them, you guys don't want to grow up. You guys just want to be catered to. That's exactly what you guys are. That's exactly what you want, because that's all you give a shit. You don't want to have interesting stories. You don't want to have a new direction on the characters because you just want to grow up on your fucking bullshit books. Why don't you just read your books and fucking accept the new direction? Diverse yourself from the past and now. I hate these fucking people. I just can't not stand it. I'm done. I'm fed up. I'm looking forward to the Starfire book. We'll judge it then. If it's trash, I'll fucking say it's trash. But if it's good and it gets shitted on, I'm gonna fucking defend it because I know what I'm talking about. Because I'm trying to be a writer, that I'm trying to tell an interesting story to make a better book. It's just saying a lot how comic book fans will shit on a writer, will shit on something that they clearly don't know on what they're getting themselves into, because you're shitting on this, that you don't like a gothic and gay character that's the daughter of Starfire. That's exactly what you're trying to tell me. And you would rather have a character that's its own continuity, take that character, put her into the new DC continuity, and pretty much go with that. You would rather play it safe. You would rather just be catered to. That's exactly what you're telling me. That's exactly what happened to Superman. This is exactly what happened to Wally. Fuck that idea. I don't want to risk that happen to that character. And we all know what happened to Wally and Superman. Trash every single one of them. And ruin those characters beyond repair. You couldn't tell me otherwise. And that was before Bendis took over. I hated Superman Reborn. I hated how they did to Wally, making him to be like the villain, making this bullshit storyline that clearly had no business to be told. But they did it in an interesting bullshit way that I care less about. And it ruined my favorite character. And now he's stuck being as this villain because of bullshit reasons. And I'm like, why introduce him entirely? If you're going to do this, why introduce him? It's exactly the same point that I'm saying with Nightstar. If you introduce that character and you make sure she fits into the new DC canon, and you have some shithead writer ruin her, then what do you have to say to yourself? You got nothing to blame but your fucking self. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm done now. And that goes the same thing to the fans who asked for Wally and the original Superman. You got nothing to blame but yourself. I'm just saying, people. I'm just saying. And I'm sure I'm pissed off a lot of DC fans just to say how I feel. Good. I could care less, because I'm always going to be the outcast. I'm always going to say how I really feel about DC, because I don't like the current product the way it is. I want DC writers to actually be better than this shit. Take a risk. Don't care about what the hate's going to go. Do something that's actually worth a shit. Don't listen to these fucking DC fans, because they'll say one thing and flip the next. And I'm sure I pissed off a lot of DC fans. And if you want to do a video response or collaborate with me, just Twitter me on Twitter. I'll have a link down below on my Twitter. You'll know where I'm at. And I'll collaborate with you and we'll have that discussion. Because honestly, I'm sick of the product. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of the bullshit agenda that these fucking DC fans and this fucking company doesn't want to fucking be better. I'm tired of it. You're seeing how I really feel. You're seeing how I really feel. And, you know, if I have to be the most hated person on YouTube because I'm tired of this agenda that people are trying to push on DC, that DC's actually just caving in to people that really just honestly, I'm going to say this right now, should have no business to be listened to, because you say one thing, they'll do it next. You can't listen to people. You just gotta be better. You just gotta tell a story and hope it sells. Why does the independent books are doing that? Why is Marvel doing that? When you have IDW and they're doing fucking Transformers and Ninja Turtles and they're fucking better than the movies and cartoons that they're based on. That is saying a lot. When you have the Power Rangers books have no agenda, have nothing, and just be better than the fucking current seasons. They're better than the current seasons. That is awful. That is saying a lot. That tells me they're doing a better book. That tells me they're doing a better job. And they're taking their asses seriously. They're not listening to this minority fans they don't want to grow up on. They don't want to grow up. They want to rely on the past and stick with it. Fuck the past. I hope that shit burns. Anyway, I'm done now. I rest my case. I'm sure I'm going to get hated on how I feel. Looking forward to the Starfire book. We'll judge it then.